My sister was laughing so hard she could barely hold her phone steady. She had followed me into the bank, recording, broadcasting to our entire family on FaceTime. This is gold. Wait until Mom sees this. You seriously can't even... I turned to the manager and said 6 words. Trust account 4471B, please. His fingers moved across the keyboard. Then they stopped. His face drained. The color just left. He looked at me. Then at the screen. Then back at me. Ma'am, I need to get my supervisor. This account triggers enhanced protocols. Behind me, my sister's laughter died mid-breath. The branch went quiet. How did the family failure, the one who couldn't even split a lunch check, end up controlling $4 billion? Let me tell you how we got here. But first, drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Hit that subscribe button. This story gets wild. Growing up, there were 2 versions of our family. The one everyone saw, and the one I lived in. My sister was the golden child, surgeon, penthouse in the city, awards dinner every other month. I was the invisible one, studio apartment, thrift store suits, mid-tier finance job managing small portfolios. Every holiday, same question. When are you going to be more like your sister? I stopped answering after a while. 3 years ago, our grandfather died. The funeral was small, private. Afterward, his estate attorney pulled me aside. Your grandfather left specific instructions. He wants to speak to you, alone. He handed me a sealed envelope. Inside was a letter, handwritten, and a legal document I didn't understand at first. The letter said, "You have my eyes for people. Your sister has their hunger. I'm trusting you with everything. Watch her. Document everything. Wait for proof before you reveal." The document was a trustee appointment. $4.2 billion. Tech stocks from the 80s. Real estate. Venture holdings. A foundation he'd built in silence for 40 years. And he'd left it all to me. Not my parents. Not my sister. Me. The lawyer looked at me. He said you'd know what to do when the time came. He said to save everything. Every email. Every slight. Every entitled demand. So I did. I kept a folder. In a locked drawer. Every text. Every call. Every laughed-off insult. Auditors taught me something early in my career. Documentation is prophecy. I just didn't know she'd make it so easy. 6 months ago, my sister texted out of nowhere. Lunch, my treat. Let's catch up. We hadn't spoken in 4 months. But I said yes. She picked a trendy bistro downtown. The kind with $15 cocktails and plates the size of your palm. She ordered champagne, lobster, 3 appetizers. Dessert for the table. I ordered a salad. When the check came, she smiled at me. Oh my God, I completely forgot my wallet. Can you grab this? I'll Venmo you. I pulled out my card. It declined. Not because I didn't have money. Because I'd hit my daily limit approving foundation wire transfers that morning. But she didn't know that. Her eyes lit up like she'd just won something. Wait, your card declined? I stayed calm. Can you cover it? I'll pay you back. It's $150. She stared at me. Then she started laughing. Loud enough that nearby tables turned. You're seriously asking me for money? Oh my God, Mom needs to hear this. She FaceTimed our mother. Right there. Mom, you're not going to believe this. She can't even afford lunch. I sat there, quiet. She posted it to Instagram 20 minutes later. A photo of me, blurred out just enough to be classy. Caption, when your sibling can't even split a check. Family embarrassment. 300 likes in an hour. That night, she Venmo requested me $150. The note said, charity for my broke sibling, with a crying, laughing emoji. I didn't respond, but I screenshotted it, and I added it to the folder. It didn't stop with Instagram. 2 weeks later, my parents called. Sweetheart, why didn't you tell us things were this bad? My sister had told them I was financially struggling, that she was worried. Then the family board meeting happened. We had a small family LLC, managed a rental property grandfather had left to all of us. My sister circulated a petition to remove me from any financial decision-making role. She got 4 cousins to sign it. Then the FedEx envelope arrived. Law firm letterhead. Heavy paper. Inside, a petition for emergency guardianship. Her attorney claimed I was financially and emotionally unfit. They wanted me to sign over power of attorney, voluntarily, If I refused, they'd file in court. The hearing was set for 30 days out. My partner found me at the kitchen table staring at the letter. "You have to fight this, now." I shook my head. "Not yet." "What do you mean, not yet?" "She's trying to take control of your life." I opened my desk drawer, pulled out the folder. It had grown thick. 3 years of documents, emails, texts, screenshots, recordings. "I need her to commit fully," I said. "I need her to show everyone exactly who she is." My partner looked at me like I was crazy. Maybe I was. But I remembered grandfather's letter. Let them show you who they are. So I waited. Let me show you what was in that folder. First, grandfather's last will and testament. Dated 4 years before he died. Clause 4.7. I'm going to read it exactly as written. I appoint my grandchild as sole trustee of the Family Foundation Trust in perpetuity. My other grandchild is explicitly excluded due to demonstrated financial irresponsibility and lack of fiduciary temperament. He didn't use our names in that clause, but the attachment did. A trust summary, 73 pages. Page 1 had a single number, $4,278,450,000. Equities, real estate, venture funds, bonds, all of it in my name. Irrevocable. Paper clipped to the summary was a handwritten note. My grandfather's cursive. The same handwriting from birthday cards when I was a kid. It said, "She will come for this. I've watched her spend money she hasn't earned and demand things she hasn't built. Document her steps. Protect the legacy. You're the only one I trust." Dated 3 weeks before he died. He knew. He always knew. That was receipt number 1. I had 19 more. And she was about to earn every single one of them. Because 2 days after I got that guardianship petition, she made her next move. And this time she broke the law. My sister didn't wait for my answer. She went full scorched earth. First, she got my parents to co-sign the guardianship petition. They actually signed it. The filing cited observed incapacity and inability to manage daily affairs. Then she tried something bolder. She forged my signature on a medical release form, sent it to a psychiatric clinic I'd never been to. She wanted access to records that didn't exist. The clinic flagged it, called me to verify. I told them I'd never signed anything. They sent me a copy of the form. Her forgery was bad. Really bad. But it was evidence. I added it to the folder. Then she went after my job. She called my employer, a small wealth advisory firm, told them she had concerns that I was mismanaging client funds, that I was mentally unwell. My boss called me into his office. "Look, I don't believe this, but we have to take it seriously. 2 weeks leave, paid. Let the legal stuff settle, then we'll bring you back." I nodded. I understood. She'd made it public, professional, legal. The family WhatsApp lit up that night. Her message, "I'm doing the hardest thing I've ever done, saving my sibling from themselves. Please respect our privacy. 18 days until the hearing." My friend, an attorney, texted me. "When are you going to drop the hammer?" I replied, "Day 16. Let her build the tower higher. The fall will be proportional." She was building my case for me, one felony at a time. I hired a forensic attorney, the kind who works with white-collar crime cases. I gave him everything. He came back 3 days later with a file I didn't expect. Receipt package 2. 4 exhibits. Exhibit A, signature analysis. A certified forensic report comparing my real signature to the medical release she'd filed. 8 points of deviation. The report concluded, forgery is evident and intentional. Exhibit B, bank surveillance footage. 2 months before the lunch incident, my sister walked into my bank. She had a fake ID with my name. She tried to access my personal checking account. The teller flagged it. Security walked her out. I never knew, but the bank kept the footage. Exhibit C, her financial records. My attorney had filed pre-litigation discovery. We subpoenaed her bank statements. She owed $340,000. Casino credit lines, private loans, and a settlement from an employment fraud lawsuit. She'd lost a fraud case. $85,000. Paid out 6 months ago. Exhibit D, email evidence. She'd written to our cousin 9 months earlier. Subject line, grandfather's money, how do we get control? The body of the email asked how to find out who the trustee is and whether we can challenge it. 4 exhibits. 4 felonies. I had her. And now I knew why she was doing this. She wasn't greedy. She was desperate. The private investigator was a friend of grandfather's attorney. Old school, thorough. He briefed me in a coffee shop, slid a one-page summary across the table. Timeline. Month 1. My sister overheard our parents mention the trust at Thanksgiving dinner. She didn't know what it was, but she heard the word billion. Month 3. She hired a skip tracer to dig into grandfather's estate. Found rumors of a multi-billion-dollar vehicle. Couldn't find the trustee name. It was sealed. Month 4. She found a foundation tax filing. Public record. Buried on page 18. My name. Month 5. Her fraud lawsuit concluded. Judgment against her. $85,000. Potential criminal referral. Month 6. The plan started. The lunch. The Instagram post. The Venmo request. It wasn't impulsive. It was theater. She was building a paper trail. Evidence of my incompetence. Every social media post. Every family conversation. It was all groundwork for the guardianship. The investigator tapped the summary. Her financial motive isn't greed. It's desperation. She needs access to family money or she's facing criminal exposure. I read the last line aloud. $340,000 in debt plus $4.2 billion in prize money equals motive. I closed the folder. She wasn't evil. She was cornered. But cornered people are the most dangerous kind. So I built a corner of my own. I made 3 calls. First, my estate attorney, the one who'd been managing the trust since grandfather died. File a counter motion to dismiss the guardianship petition. Attach the full exhibit package. Add a motion for a restraining order and a civil fraud complaint. He didn't hesitate. Consider it done. She's going to have a very bad week. Second, my relationship manager at the bank, the private wealth division that held the trust. I need a family meeting. Tuesday, 10 a.m., to clarify account access and authority. Activate enhanced security protocols on all accounts. Her voice was calm, respectful. Of course. We'll have the senior VP present. Given the size of the relationship, $4 billion buys you a very polite tone. Third, my parents. I left a voicemail, calm, almost kind. Meet me at First Republic Main Branch Tuesday at 10. Bring my sister. We're going to settle the question of who manages what. Wear something nice. There will be witnesses. I hung up. Then I packed a leather portfolio, documents, exhibits, trust summary. Grandfather's letter. I pressed his signet ring, the one from the will, onto a wax seal on the folder. Old school power move. My partner watched from the doorway. Are you sure about this? I looked up. She wanted proof I could handle money. I'm going to give her 4 billion reasons. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. showtime. The conference room was all glass and marble. 3 bank VPs standing by. Leather chairs. Branded water bottles. This was a room built for power. My parents arrived first, confused, a little scared. My sister arrived 2 minutes later, smug, recording on her phone. More evidence of your delusion, she muttered. I was already seated. Tailored suit, calm. The bank manager opened the meeting. Thank you all for coming. We need to verify account authority and access. It's standard protocol for high-value relationships. My sister smirked. The manager turned to me. Ma'am, may I have your ID and the account number, please? I slid both across the table. Trust account 4471B. I'd like to make a withdrawal. My sister laughed. Out loud. This is insane. She doesn't even... The manager pulled up the account. His posture changed. He went very still. Then he rotated the screen toward my parents. $4,278,450,000. My mother's hand went to her mouth. My father just stared. My sister's phone clattered onto the table. The manager's voice stayed professional. Per protocol, transactions over 10 million require VP authorization. However, I held up one finger. I only need $150 today. Last week's lunch bill. Silence. Then I slid the leather folder across the table. Trust documents first. Grandfather's will. Then the receipts. One by one. Forgery analysis. Signature overlay. 8 points of deviation. Bank fraud stills. Her face. Fake ID. Federal offense. Debt profile. $340,000. Casino loans. Fraud settlement. Email chain. How do we get control? Conspiracy in writing. The senior VP stepped forward. We'll be filing SARS on the unauthorized access attempts. Suspicious activity reports. Federal banking law requires it. My attorney had been standing in the corner. He spoke now. Restraining order was granted this morning. Guardianship petition dismissed with prejudice. We're pursuing fraud charges unless full restitution and cessation occur within 48 hours. My sister tried to stand. Her voice cracked. I'm your sister. I was trying to protect the family. I looked at her. Really looked at her? You were protecting yourself. I have 3 years of documentation. Every lie. Every forgery. Every threat. You're done. The room went quiet. My father finally spoke. How long have you had this? 3 years. Since grandfather died. My mother's voice was barely a whisper. Why didn't you tell us? Because he told me to wait. Until she showed everyone exactly who she was. I stood. The trust stays sealed. I'll continue managing it, alone. If anyone tries to access it, contest it, or interfere, the evidence goes to the FBI. Are we clear? No one spoke. The bank manager closed his laptop. Your grandfather would be very proud, ma'am. I nodded, and I walked out. The legal fallout took 8 months. My sister pleaded no contest to attempted fraud. Probation. $12,000 in restitution to the bank for investigative costs. Mandatory financial counseling. Psychiatric evaluation. No jail time. I declined to push for the maximum penalty. She needs help, not a cell, I told the prosecutor. My parents didn't speak to me for 6 weeks. Then my mother called. Can we talk? In person? We met at a family therapist's office. 6 sessions. They apologized. They cried. They listened. My father said something I'll never forget. We failed you. We saw what we wanted to see. And we're sorry. It didn't fix everything. But it was a start. I restructured the foundation. Brought my parents on as advisory board members. Non-financial roles. Event planning. Community outreach. They said yes. I endowed $50 million to a financial literacy nonprofit in grandfather's name. Ribbon-cutting ceremony. Local press. His photo on the wall. My sister lost her social media bravado. She took a job as a medical coder. Quiet work. Stable pay. She pays down her debt $500 a month. 9 months after the bank meeting, we had our first family dinner. Different energy. She asked questions. She listened. No phone, no cameras. I set one boundary. I said it once, calmly. I will help you rebuild your life. I will not fund your shortcuts. And I will never be your victim again. My parents nodded. My sister nodded. We ate in silence for a while. Then my sister asked me about my day. A real question. I answered. It felt strange, but good. The trust is still sealed. I still live in a modest apartment, upgraded to 2 bedrooms. I still work the same advisory job. I drive a Camry. No one outside the family knows. And I like it that way. Last week, I paid for a stranger's coffee order, $8. She looked surprised. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. I smiled. I know. Because that's the thing about wealth. It's not about the number on a screen. It's about who you become when nobody knows you have it. Silence isn't weakness. Documentation isn't paranoia. And sometimes the best revenge is just being the person they said you could never be. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been underestimated by your own family? What did you do about it? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. Hit that like button if you made it this far. Subscribe if you want more stories like this. And remember, this is a fictionalized dramatization, not legal or financial advice. Always consult licensed professionals. But if you're the underestimated one, keep your receipts. Stay quiet and let them show you exactly who they are. The truth always finds its stage.